The Institute for Economic Justice has come up with a list of suggestions to replace the proposed value-added tax hike in the 2025 budget. These include targeting high net worth individuals along with levies on luxury assets, inheritances, large estates and corporate tax. This comes as GNU leaders are still meeting to find a way forward to deliver a balanced budget. Business reporter Ntokozo Khumalo breaks down how the national budget works.
The national budget is essential for determining a country's growth trajectory, much like a Coke salad bowl or a several colors meal enjoyed by South Africans. A balanced budget should create a harmonious blend of revenue coming in and revenue spent.
If we think about the national budget as a poke bowl and the government has to fill this bowl up somehow, we need to first beg the question, what are the ingredients that need to go into this bowl to make it really tasty? We don't want some dry bowl that's not going to work out properly. And then we have to think about where we're going to get these ingredients.
The rice, according to Denobrecha, is the primary source of sustenance, representing the revenue collected from taxes, debt, and any assets sold by the government. The ingredients added to the rice represents government spending, according to what is prioritized in each year's budget.
When we look at the components of spending or the basket of goods that the government can spend on, be it health, education, social grants, electricity, SOEs, road infrastructure, which one of these becomes the rice of the bowl, the sustenance of the bowl? Thereafter, we start to think, okay, but now rice might give us a lot of sustenance. What's going to give us nutritional value? So now we're going to come into our greens before we go into what are the nice to haves of the poke bowl, like the salmon or the edamame beans or something really spectacular but quite expensive.
However, as we've recently seen, disagreements over how this revenue is generated or even whether enough money is being collected can lead to delays in the budgeting process.
We spend more than we get in revenue. We spend about 365 billion rand more every year than we get in revenue. And that translates to about 1 billion rand a day in borrowing. So that gives you a quick high-level summary of how it all fits together.
These funds are necessary to meet the basic needs of the country, such as education, healthcare, and social welfare, with each ingredient or spend vital for a balanced meal. If any of those ingredients are lacking or poorly sourced, the dish or the economy suffers. The delay in releasing the budget has left many concerned about the future of public services and economic stability, as well as the country's mounting debt bill. What happens when critical ingredients are taken off the table?
We're borrowing every day. We borrow 1 billion rand a day in borrowing, but at the same time, we have to pay back the interest on what we borrowed, and those debt service costs are 382 billion. So to put that in context, we spend more on interest than we do on healthcare. What government has not been able to do is keep things rising with inflation. And one of the reasons is because the wage bill has been growing faster than inflation. So because the wage bill is going up by faster than inflation, government hasn't been able to put up other things by inflation because something kind of has to give in the balance. And in actual fact, over the last few years, social grants have gone up by less than inflation. Another area where government hasn't been increasing spending that much has actually been in education.
Finance Minister Ntokozo will be back in Parliament on the 12th of March to deliver the postponed budget. As we await the finalization of the national budget, it's clear that each ingredient matters. The key question remains, can the government create a sustainable recipe for growth? For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ntokozo Khumalo in Johannesburg.